Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. My name is Mike. Guys, with 5 weeks in the books, it's time for my after Week 5 power rankings as we head into Week 6 here, well into the second quarter of the NFL schedule. And let's get right to it from 32 to 1 here. My weekly power rankings, my 32 and 31 are unchanged from last week. Jaguars are 32, 0-5. Buccaneers, who had a bye last week, at 0-4, at number 31. I think these are the two worst teams in the league as of now, with Tampa obviously having more of a chance to turn it around than I think the Jaguars do. At number 30 and 29, I have the other two winless teams, the Giants and Steelers. Look, really a surprise to see both these teams down this far in this list. The Giants, I finally gave in and put them in the last third here of the power rankings. Just too many turnovers. The Steelers had a bye last week, still haven't won. We'll play at the Jets this week. At 28 and 27, I have the Panthers and the Rams. Look, the Panthers, too inconsistent. You don't know what you're getting out of them from week to week. I know they've lost a lot of close games, but they've still lost those games. And, my stock is really down right now on Cam Newton. At number 27, I have the Rams. Look, even though they beat the Jaguars, I didn't think they looked overly dominant. And they just looked so bad the two games before that against San Francisco and Dallas. That's the main reason why I have them here at number 27. Number 26, I have the Vikings at 1-3. Again, a team who didn't play last week. Now has three quarterbacks in the mix there. We'll see how that situation plays itself out as they try to get back in the playoff race there in the NFC North. 25 and 24, I have the Falcons and Bills respectively. Look, the Falcons took the biggest nosedive on my list this week. They're a 1-4 team. I mean, you want to keep on looking for the best in them, but they are just 1-4. And as I said, number 24, I have the Bills. The Bills sit with a record of 2-3, but you worry about what's going to come now in this spurt here where E.J. Manuel is out with that injury. Thad Lewis gets to start this week. 23 and 22, I have the Raiders and Redskins. The Raiders, look, showed me a lot last week. They've probably moved up, I think, the most on the power rankings. My power rankings. I don't think they're like a playoff team, but I think they're a team that you have to now prepare for and take seriously, something they haven't been in years past. And then next up, I have the Redskins. Look, the Redskins going to try to start to make a move here in the NFC East, and a good place to start. They're at division-leading Dallas this week. In at number 21 and 20, I have the Eagles and Cardinals, respectively. The Eagles, look, 2-3. Interested to see if Nick Foles does play good, if he is the long-term starter there for the Eagles. At number 20, I have the Cardinals. They're 3-2. Not a very impressive 3-2, but nonetheless, you got to give them a little credence because they have won 3 games. At 19 and 18, I have a pair of 3-2 teams in the Jets and Titans. Look, the Jets look very good against Atlanta. I have them a shade below the Titans because they got trounced by the Titans 2 weeks ago in Tennessee. Tennessee with a very tough game this week going to Seattle. Number 17 and 16, I have the Browns and Texans. The Browns are 3-2. I don't think they're as good as the Texans. Again, I worry about Brandon Weeden coming back in the fold here. The Texans going through some tough times right now. I expect them to bounce back in a big way at home this week against the Rams. 15, 14, and 13, I have the Chargers, Cowboys, and Lions. Look, as far as the Chargers and Cowboys go, very good offenses with suspect defenses. I think it's the same story for both those teams. You're going to have to see the defense improve to get back in the mix here. The Lions at 3-2. I think you're seeing a lot of their team revolves around the health offensively of Calvin Johnson and Reggie Bush. When either of those two have been missing this year, you've seen how much Matthew Stafford and in turn that offense has struggled. 12, 11, and 10. Before we get into the top 10 here, 12, 11, and 10, I have the Bears, the Dolphins, and the Ravens, all at 3-2. The Bears, losers of 2 straight, looking to get back on track against the winless Giants on Thursday Night Football. The Dolphins at 3-2. Look, they don't really have what you would call a bad loss yet this season. They sit at 3-2. That's why I still have them just outside the top 10. At number 10, I have the Ravens, who beat the Dolphins last week. Look, I don't think the Ravens have played well yet, which makes me think they might take the biggest jump as a whole for a team from the first half to the second half in terms of their quality of play. Into the top 10 here at 9, 8, and 7, I have the Packers, the Bengals, and the Patriots. Look, the Packers, I know they're 2-2. They're at 500. But this is a team I think is a solid top 10 team in the league. And we'll see how they do certainly this week in a tough game they have coming up here at Baltimore. 8 and 7, Bengals, Patriots. Bengals Look, good win last week in New England. I still need to see Andy Dalton turn it around here before I move them any farther up the rankings. I still have the Patriots ahead of the Bengals. I know the Bengals beat the Patriots last week. The Patriots are still 4-1 though. And, I think overall just a smidge better because of the quarterback play, because of Tom Brady. 6-5-4, I had the 49ers, Colts, and Chiefs, the first undefeated team. The 49ers, again, 3-2, I think developing, getting back into their run-first mindset. I really like where this team is headed here as their schedule loosens up a little bit. They had a very tough first 5 games of the season in terms of the schedule. Number 5, I have the Colts. Look, it's time to take the Colts seriously if you haven't been. They beat arguably two of the, in my eyes, 7 best teams in the NFL the last 3 weeks in Seattle and San Francisco. Colts at 4-1, a young team trending upwards. At number 4, I had the Chiefs, 5-0, one of the undefeated teams. I think they're the worst of the undefeated teams, which, hey, is not a bad place to be. They showed me a lot on the road this week in Tennessee. And the last 3 teams, the Saints, Seahawks, Broncos. The Saints, 5-0. They've been dominant. Look, these top 3 teams have been dominant this year. We'll see the Saints, on the road in New England. Should be a good one this week. Breeze versus Brady. Number 2, I have the Seahawks. I know the Seahawks dropped a game here. They're at 4-1 now. I think I just said they were undefeated. I'm sorry. The Seahawks at 4-1 now. I know Colts fans are going to be asking me why the Colts aren't that high. I still look at the Seahawks as the solid second best team in the league. I know this. People might be expecting me to flip-flop the Saints and the Seahawks, but I still have the Seahawks at number 2. And at number 1, I have the Broncos at 5-0. Look, the Broncos are clearing away, I think, the best team in the league. I don't think there's any denying that. Let me know what you guys thought of my list here. That's 32-1, my weekly power rankings. Hit me up in the YouTube comments. Hit me up on Twitter at SNewsAnalysis. I know I'm going to hear stuff about still having the Seahawks too, so give it to me, Let me know what you think. Hit me up in the YouTube comments, Twitter. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, guys. Check out my previews and recaps. I preview and recap every game every week, and I'm always talking about the news of the day in the NFL. So be sure to subscribe. Thanks again for listening, and have a great night.